So today we're going to be talking about solo parenting and what my lifestyle is like and how I get through each day. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please check out the rest of my videos. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, thank you so much for coming back. If you've seen at least 3 of my videos by now, I have no idea why you haven't subscribed. Today is going to be a bit different. We're going to be talking about something that you probably might not have has been on your radar because, you know, it's not a normal thing. I get a lot of questions, especially concerning my lifestyle with me being a mom and having another baby on the way and also being married. To begin, I want to say that I'm married. We've been married for 5 years and we have been together for 8 years. So we've been together a pretty long time. I actually married my high school sweetheart and he went to the military right after high school and I just so happened to follow him. I want to put up a disclaimer. We're going to be talking about solo parenting. Solo parenting is completely different than single parenting. You know, like I have a sister who is a single parent and she does an amazing job. I think she does great. It's one of the hardest things I've ever seen someone go through, but I think she does a phenomenal job and I got to give my kudos to my single moms because they be really putting in the work. And as a solo parent, I do kind of get a taste of what it is that they go through, but in no way, shape, or form am I a single parent. So there's some things that my sister goes through that I personally just don't have to go through because I am married and because my partner is still active in both me and my child's life. Solo parenting is basically when you are married and you know you guys are good, but one of you travels a lot or is away often. So my husband, due to him being in the military, is gone often. And he's always kind of been gone often because he is 11 Bravo and they go to the field a lot. So sometimes he can be gone for 1 week, sometimes he can be gone for 3 weeks, sometimes he can be deployed for months at a time. So, I mean, we've never had to deal with deployment, but you know that is a possibility in the type of job that he has, and it's something that we've also had to in some way deal with. Because my daughter was born right around his deployment time, we didn't necessarily have to deal with deployment because that kind of stopped him from being deployed. But had I not had my daughter, we definitely would have gone through deployment. Then my husband is gone for long stretches at a time. Sometimes it's short stretches like 1 day because of staff duty or CQ or whatever, and sometimes it's super long stretches of times like 3 weeks. So it's always been like that. A lot of people tend to try to sympathize with me about it. People don't really understand how different military life, being married, military marriage is compared to like civilian marriage, and it's definitely different. It's definitely something that you have to get used to. It's definitely a big lifestyle change, and you can't sometimes use the same techniques that you might use when you were, you know, when you're a civilian. And like a lot of people have a hard time understanding that, like especially family members, they tend to try and give me advice and tell me things that I need to do. The way me and my husband's marriage is I'm perfectly good with him being gone for certain periods of time. I'm okay with that. Like at first I wasn't. I would have like full-blown meltdown because I'd be like, oh my god, I miss him so bad because I'm in a place that I don't have any friends and he's like my only friend. But now, you know, once I've established friendships and I have my own career, my own job, then, you know, him being gone isn't so bad. To my family members, it, you know, in a traditional sense as being married, when you see one, you see the other. And that's just how it's supposed to be. And like, you know, that might work for them, but that definitely doesn't work for us anymore. It used to when we were dating. We used to, you know, if you saw one, you saw the other. We was like two peas in a pod. But now being in the military, it's taught me how to enjoy distance and also appreciate when he's home. My family member didn't understand that, and they were just like, you need to move back home, and you need to be home with your husband, and you need to this and this. And it's like, that sounds good, that sounds great, it does sound good, but just because it works for you does not mean it's going to work for me, and it didn't. I'm gonna quickly tell you the story of how I really kind of did become into solo parenting so hard and so heavy, because basically my husband is in another state and I'm in another state, and sometimes he gets a chance to visit us, and that's how our lifestyle is. So I'm gonna try and explain as to why we are that way. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, I actually decided not to return to my corporate job. I decided to just try and make stay-at-home work life function. My husband, like I told you guys earlier, he actually was supposed to deploy, and due to the fact that he was supposed to deploy, we figured it would be best if I just went home to my parents so that my parents could help me with my daughter. And so that's what we decided to do, and that's why I left to come to Georgia. Come to find out, my husband actually didn't, because my daughter's birth was like a week before he was supposed to deploy, they decided to put him in the rear, like rear D or something. And so like he was able to see our daughter's birth. Well, like as things started to change, especially with everything that was going on around that time, they actually didn't need him anymore, or didn't need their rear D anymore. So he didn't deploy, which means like technically I could have just stayed where we were, but I didn't. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because my parents were super helpful, and his parents were so helpful, especially having a kid for the first time. Dialing it forward, I decided that maybe we can make this family thing work, and I'll just move me and my kid back to my husband, and we can like try and make this military life thing work with just us and our support basically being gone. And literally 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant with our son, and I was like, oh, I can't do this, because he would be gone from like 5 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. And like, so that's me with the baby the whole time, and I was pregnant at the time, and it was just a lot. I think emotionally it was a lot, and I was just so used to having my parents as my support that I just couldn't cope with the fact that I was really doing this by myself. And so I decided to move back again. So I only stayed there for like 2-3 months, and then I moved back. And when I moved back, my parents, of course, they were so happy to see their grandbaby. I basically became a solo parent at that point. My parents, they work majority of the day. So they work from like 6 in the morning all the way until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And my in-laws, they work too. Their schedule, is a bit more flexible than my parents because they own their own business, but they still have to work. So I'm still a solo parent. I still do everything by myself, going out, nighttime routines, morning routines, everything is on my own. And I am also pregnant. So number 1 is a physical toll. It's draining being a solo parent, physically. You are doing the bulk of the parenting by yourself. And good days, bad days, cries, laughs, everything you experience by yourself. And it's beautiful when you have a great day, but it's also kind of bittersweet because you wish you could be experiencing it with your partner that you created this small human with. But you have to take the highs with the lows. And when my husband does come down, he's driven quite a good distance to come visit us. So by the time he gets to us, he's drained from that work week and from the drive of getting to us. So he's like decompressing and like sleeping in and trying to relax because he's not at work. Which for me, on the other end, it doesn't make sense to me because my life is still going, so to speak. Like, I'm still having to be a mom. I still have to continue this routine with this baby. I still have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and make breakfast. I still have to have her lunch by 1. I still have to have her dinner by 3. I still have to give her bath time by 7 and brush her teeth. I still have to put her to bed by 8:30. Like, I still have to do all these things even though you are taking this as a vacation. It's not a vacation for me because you've come and entered into my realm. And so now it's like, it's just a lot. And it sucks because as soon as like he's decompressing, sometimes he's only here for a weekend. So he's probably decompressing that first day. That second day he's like, I got you, I'm gonna help you. And then that third day he's like, I can do this. And then like, you know, that third night, like that night, it's like we're preparing for him to leave again. So now, you know, the routine may change because like, we want to spend more time with daddy. We want to do more things with daddy. We want to cuddle more. We don't necessarily want to focus on the routine. And it just kind of is a lot physically on both of us to have to deal with that. Number two, which I really pointed out was the whole routine is like, my husband has a whole routine that he does on his end. And I have a whole routine that I do on my end. And they never ever meet. They never meet. And so when we do come together, it's very confusing because it's almost like my husband enters into a world that to him never existed. Because like, now you have to worry about Isla and you know, me being pregnant and the things that we struggle with daily or that we overcome daily, and that he never really had to deal with. You know, like him, he could come home from work and decide, I'm gonna watch YouTube all day. And it's like, that's cool because you don't have, you know, responsibilities or anything at that moment. But for me, I don't get that. My YouTube time is from 10 p.m. until 12 a.m. That's my me time. And so he doesn't really get that. So sometimes when he's over here, I'll see him be on his phone, or I'll see him, you know, doing vacation things, just taking the downtime. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, hey buddy, like our day still has to go. Like sometimes there's times where we can really just, like, especially with the coronavirus going around, there is times where we can really just decompress and watch a TV show and be super cute and have super cute family moments. But there are other times where we're on a schedule, especially when I was working. I was like, I have to go to work at this time, and I have to be back at this time, and I still have to get Isla dressed, and I still have to get Isla ready. And it's just a lot. And like sometimes he doesn't understand that, and like he'll sleep in, or he'll fall asleep early, and it's like I'm still having to do the same exact solo parenting that I would do even if you weren't here. And so that causes a lot of like strife sometimes between us, because we want so badly for the other person to understand each other's perspective. I want him so badly to understand that, you know, what I'm doing is hard and I need your help. And then he wants so badly for me to understand that what he's doing is hard and he needs my help. So it's like, it's a lot, because even when you think about it, his side is very difficult too. You're away from your family for very long stretches of time, and you know, you don't get to experience all the beautiful things that I get to experience with Isla. You have to watch them from a screen, and that is emotionally weighing on someone. So you know, by the time they come here, they're just ready to have fun. And it's like, for me, I'm like, hey, I'm still in routine mode, and I want him to understand how hard it is for me doing it by myself. And like, it's just a constant battle, and it can cause a lot of resentment if, you know, those feelings aren't dealt with. And I do encourage marriage counseling all the way. If I was not so far along and Corona was not a thing, I would be going right now. The last point I really want to make is our parenting styles are completely different because of the solo parenting. You know, when you talk to your spouse or whatever about having a kid, it sounds good. My husband is still kind of not understanding the parenting style very well, but that's simply just because he's not here. I said that when I first had kids, I was going to be the hard parent. gonna say no, I was gonna, you know, do all that stuff. But now that I have a kid, I'm dealing with her personality every day, and I'm seeing her, watching her grow. I'm definitely more of the yes parent. If she doesn't like something, then, you know, like, I'm not gonna force her to like it. I'm gonna try and find alternatives that she likes. My husband, because he hasn't necessarily been around my daughter nearly as often as I am, is more of the hard parent. Especially because, like, he, in the parenting shoes, so to speak, like, I got a test run with my nephew because I lived with my nephew for a good bit of time. So I know what it's like to have a baby. I get it, okay? And my husband has never really dealt with babies. He's never really dealt with kids. So when it comes to our daughter, he's like, no, you can't just let her get her way. You can't just let her do this and this. And it's like, she's one. She's one. I mean, like, I'm completely here for her not getting her way because that's fine. But there's only so much my 1-year-old can understand. Like, believe me. And, like, you know, he'll be all like, no, she knows. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna tell me what she knows, and I'm dealing with her every single day. And, like, that's again where that strife can come in, where you feel resentment because you just don't feel like that partner is understanding you. He doesn't feel like I'm understanding him because he's like, I know she knows, and I just don't want her to be a brat when she grows up. And I'm like, I know she doesn't know, and I want you to be nice to a child. And it's like, it's just that conflict. And, like, you know, as a mom, I'm here to nurture and just love. And as a dad, my husband is more of a provider. And, like, it's cool because now in this era, husbands and dads, let me just say dads in general, are becoming more nurturing. And they're trying to be available for their babies and for their family in an emotional way, which is, I think, amazing. And so my husband is really trying to be there for Isla emotionally. It just really sucks with the distance. It's definitely not single parenting. Like I said before, it's completely different. You know, like, I know a lot of single parents who are co-parenting right now. And so, you know, they have to split expenses, or they have to split time, or they have different things that they have to do that I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about splitting expenses because me and my husband's money is all in one spot. So that's something that I don't have to worry about. And, you know, some single parents, the other parent isn't even around. And so they're really doing this by themselves, all by themselves, with no type of, you know, the person you created the baby with support. And so, like, that's something I don't have to deal with. My husband, he does support me all the way through. He supports all of us. He always tries to be there as best as he can. His job just makes him busy. I have to think that he is doing something that, you know, when I think about it, is a lot harder than what I'm doing. I don't think I could be away from my child for that long. I'm gonna be honest. I love my daughter to death. She's my best friend. And, you know, to be away from her for at least a month at a time would kill me. So I have to be empathetic to his situation and understand that, you know, he's not used to being a parent all the time. He's not used to being around a kid all the time. And it's not that he doesn't want to be. He wants to be. He wants to have what I have. Oh, there's a lot of moms out there, not just military moms, people who are flight attendants, truckers, travelers. Like, there's a lot of people that you wouldn't know who do solo parenting. So, you know, just because it's the traditional way does not make it the right way. Please don't tell people, you know, how they should do their marriage if you don't really have the lifestyle that they have, because it's not helpful. It's honestly detrimental, because it's like teaching me how to eat an orange with an apple. Boy, you gotta peel it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all so much for the support. Also, I just wanted to say, because this video is probably going to be going out right around the time that I was going to be sending out my giveaway, I am postponing my giveaway. If you haven't heard about my giveaway, go check it out on my Instagram, which is linked down below. But I'm going to be postponing it because of the coronavirus. I don't want to mail anything. I don't want to do anything of that nature and then possibly get someone sick. So I just want to wait until all this dies down, and then I will be able to do the giveaway the right way. I've already got all the supplies and everything that needs to be shipped. It's just I don't want it to go to the mail and then, like, you know, it gets touched by random people and then it goes to someone's house. And then again, thank y'all for the support. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one.